Words matter. In today's world, we know how much words matter. We can encourage, comfort, lift another's spirit, even sustain the weary with a word. We have the power to shine a light, express goodness, lift up joy, and bring love into the world. We also have the power to release darkness, confusion, chaos, and evil into the world. Each one of us carries both dark and light, good and evil, hate and love, within the fullness of our person. At the very beginning, when God created all, He created everything. There is nothing that God did not bring forth. So this dichotomy that we carry within ourselves is part of our whole. When Jesus asked, "Who do you say that I am?" it is a pivotal moment in his ministry, and he and the disciples are on their way to Caesarea Philippi. The area is an unsafe place for Jesus and his followers, as it is a place where the people worship random gods. It is a spiritual boundary land, a place of uncertainty and possibility where worlds collide. In the Gospel of Mark, the stories that bracket this one are the healing of the blind man at Bethsaida and the Transfiguration. Stories about seeing and listening. The disciples, and we also, are to open our eyes to see, open our ears to listen, and according to James' letter today, bridle our speech. Be mindful, if you will, because words matter. In response to Jesus' question, "Who do you say that I am?" the disciples say the people believe Jesus is a prophet, John the Baptist, even Elijah, the forerunner of the coming Messiah. Peter's response is remarkable. Publicly, he declares Jesus is the Messiah. In this moment, this radical proclamation takes the followers of Jesus from holding on to a hope for the coming Messiah to suddenly realizing the living Messiah is among them. They're not just holding on for some promise in the future. The Messiah is here now. The hope is among them. Within the presence of Jesus as living hope comes an acceptance of being part of whatever comes. And Jesus is sharing what is to come: suffering, rejection, death, and resurrection. It is not what is expected of the Messiah, which is the power and prestige of the world as exemplified in the time of King David. What is to come is a challenging, incomprehensible journey, and what will seem like an ending at Jesus' crucifixion is merely the beginning of new life in him. It is hard for Peter to imagine or comprehend what he has so boldly proclaimed. And part of the spiritual journey for us is to comprehend what we proclaim. How many of us struggle with a word or a statement in the Nicene Creed? How many of us fully can explain about Jesus, about the Holy Spirit, about God? It's incomprehensible. Peter pulls Jesus aside for a private interaction, perhaps an intervention, and Peter rebukes Jesus. And Jesus, seeing that Peter is serving Satan as Satan's tool, he rebukes Peter, saying, "Get behind me, Satan." Jesus chastises Peter, an admonishment given in love, hard that it is. This moment is an opportunity for growth. one that will be understood only through walking with Jesus to the cross and beyond. The true power of divine love is revealed in his death on the cross. Through self-sacrifice and humility, Jesus' divine love is expressed and unleashed upon the world. As human beings, we are given free will, the ability to choose God above all else. At the beginning of creations, all things came into being. Remember, darkness and light, good and evil, love and hate. We carry all these within ourselves, and if we are honest, we wrestle like Jacob at the river, wrestling with the angel. There is always so much more to seek to understand when Jesus speaks. Today, Jesus reveals an unexpected truth about his life and what it means to be his disciple, which will require more than imagined. The cost of life is getting beyond self, even denying self and taking up one's personal cross, which is not meant to be a burden. And following where Jesus leads, it is losing oneself in a life greater than oneself. Perhaps at this time in our world, it is also about listening more than we speak, seeking commonalities, loving those who believe, think, speak differently than we do. Perhaps this is a moment in the world where all of humanity is being challenged to be open to greater possibilities and visions. A time of seeing differently, listening intently, and trusting God is at work in ways we may never understand. Remember, words matter.